Hello guys, welcome again. So this is what our website looks like currently. It looks good, and we've worked on a couple of other things. You can see the chat widget is now active. So what we're going to do right now is to create all of these pages. We're going to create an about us page. We'll create pages for services, and all of these services that are listed down here, we're just going to create simple pages, nothing big. And the partners, which we already have their pictures down here, right? So we're going to list all of them on one page. Insights is basically a blog. Sorry, I was wrong about this. The partners already have those images provided by the clients. So these are the clients. Uh, they're all going to be populated in this page. Viewpoint, I think, is another blog. And we'll have the contact us page. We don't have information for that yet. And you can also see that from here. So let's get into creating a page. We'll go into our dashboard right now, and I'll come down to pages. I'll say add new. Let's just wait for that to load up. Okay, so our page has opened up. I'm just going to close this one, and I'm going to click here because we're going to build our page custom using the WP Bakery page builder. So let's give that some time. When it opens up, we'll build our about us page, this particular one. Okay, so I'll click on the backend editor. Let's try this. So I'm just going to see if we can add a template from that looks like an about us page we can customize. Okay, so you could pick any one. Let's just pick a random one here. So I'll just pick this one. It says medical accordion one. It's not related. We might eventually remove it and build our own page, but let's see what it looks like before we proceed. Okay, so for some reasons it has refused to work. It's been stuck here, so I'm just going to close this and let's build our own. So what we want to create is an about us page. I'll just name that about us. Okay, and I'm going to add an element. I'll add a row. I'll make this row edge to edge, basically. And I'm gonna give the row a nice image. Let's see if we can get a fine image here in our library. If we can't, then we'll just have to go back to Unsplash, which I would open up in a new tab. Okay, so let's actually pick something that is close to what the company does. They already have these images. I think they are high res enough. So let's use any of these ones, and I would make it cover the whole of the division, right? I'll just come back here and say no paddings. I'll save that. Also, sorry, I'll come back in here to the design options. Okay, so there is no space between this division and the next one. I'll click I'll add another row, and again I would make this stretch row and content. I would leave the background color as white, and here I'll break it into two. What I want to do is to add a text box here that will talk a little bit about the company, and here we're going to add a matching image. So I'm going to say single image, right? and I do not have those yet. I'll pull out those information now, but let's preview and see what we're doing. Okay, so this is what our page looks like. Obviously not what I intended. um, because there is no content inside this row, it's just gonna be that small. So I'm gonna come back here and I'll add a space, empty space. I'll make that 400 because our picture, our image size is about 400. And let's refresh. It should be larger now. Okay, so we have the image displaying properly, and that's the about us, and we can turn those off if we want. So I'm just gonna come back down here and I would say header. Let's see if we turn the header off, and title bar, let's turn it off, and let's preview again. Let's see. Okay, so these are still showing, and I need to remove all of these, this particular one, and this stuff here. So I'm gonna come back in here. Okay, we've turned the title bar off, over header layout. Let's leave that one. So I believe it's gonna be from the theme options. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is to update this, and then I'll go to the theme options. Let's wait for that to load. So I'll go to the theme options. It's still loading. Let me open it anyway. Ideally, I didn't want to go to appearance. I wanted to come down here to theme settings, but because it's still loading, we cannot do that. So let's just give it some time. Okay, so now that it has loaded, I can come to appearance and theme settings. So just let that load. Okay, so I'm gonna come into the header, and let's see if we can make that change from here. Header settings. Okay, just look around. Nothing there. Come to the general. These are the likely places where you can find the setting to turn off these things, because most times they look really annoying. All of these, we don't need them. So title bar, let's turn that off. And what else? Let's save changes and refresh on our page and see if it worked. If it didn't work, there's got to be a setting somewhere where you can turn it off. Okay, so now we turned off the title bar and our menu is gone as well. Not the intention, so I'm going to turn it back on. Title bar, I'm going to turn it back on, and I'll save the changes. I'll come to the header. Let's look around again. Couldn't find it, but we should have restored our page title by now. Come back in, let's see. I thought I saved changes. Alright, obviously it didn't save, so come back in here. Title bar is on, so these changes should have saved. Okay. Except, of course, what we did here. Header on, and let's update and refresh. Okay, so our header is back up, and weirdly, all of the stuff are gone. I don't even know which of the setting worked for it. I'll refresh again just to confirm. Okay, so it certainly should be from the page settings here under our header where we disabled one of all these things, right? The title bar, I believe. Yeah, because that one is still off. All right, so now that we got that sorted, we can get to building. Okay, so I just opened up what the client sent. So we talked about a banner that will be a static picture and then a small write-up here, and then the meet our board comes in here. So if we were to follow this, I'm just going to revert this into a straight row, and then our write-up comes in here. So let me pull up the write-up. Okay, so I have it. I'm just going to quickly paste that. Right, all right, so we have that, and I'm gonna hit save. It's quite long, but then you've got to follow what the client wants, right? I'll open the preview, and while that is loading, the next section is meet our board, which consists of 4 people, and then meet our team, another 4 global partners. And so it's a pretty straightforward page. So this is what we have. Doesn't look too nice, too large. People cannot read that properly. So what I'm going to do is I'll make it like this. Right, I switched to this particular one, so it has spaces here and here. What I'm also going to do is I would help the client reduce this write-up. So I'm just going to break it up here. I would move all of this, Control X for cutting, and I would say read more. I'll make this a link to another page for now. I'll make it link nowhere, so I'm just gonna put a hash in there and save. So this right up here is shorter, and people don't get confused on what to look out for. So the next section is supposed to be meet our board. So what I'm gonna do is to click on the plus. There might be an option for team. Yeah, team members comes in here. Okay, so I'll pull up the images for the team members, which you can see here already. I'll put them in a folder. Okay, so I've added all of them, and you can see all of the team members. I had to make it 5. I used this last one, so it breaks the row into 5 columns, and this is what we have currently on the page. If we go by what the clients want, there should be a message here that says meet our board. So I'm just gonna quickly do that one. What I will do is to duplicate this row, and I'll make it one column instead. I'll delete all of these, and then I'll put in a heading here. So let's just look for a heading. We could use this one. So I call it meet our team board, rather meet our board. I'll make that big. Okay, so I want to see how the other heading looks as well, just so we can pick and we know which one we want to use. This one says animated heading. Let's see how this one looks. So I'll just put all of them, and let's see. Let's make that heading too, so it's big, and let's align center. There was another heading that I saw, this one. I just want to see how all of the headings look. They would go with the most beautiful one, of course. Okay, so meet our board. Okay, and let's preview that. Okay, so I think I prefer this middle one that is animated, meet our board. So we'll go with that one. I'll come back in here. I'll delete the top one and the last one. So we'll leave the animated one, but let's make it bigger. So I'm just gonna pick a bigger, let's make it heading one, that's the largest size loop. So it continues to roll over. Let's leave it enabled, and I'll save that. Now what I want to do is I'll move this into this row if it's gonna allow me. It isn't. Okay, so that's also fine. That's okay. I wanted both of them to be in one single row, but it's not going to happen. So let's update. Now if we like the way it looks, what we're going to do is to duplicate what is here, because the very next section has meet our team and then all of this as well, right? So we're going to put in the team members next. So I'm just going to duplicate this section and this section, and we would have both here. Now I'm going to refresh on the website, and let's see how it looks. Okay, so it's still loading, and these images are supposed to, okay, so they're loading up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a space in here so it doesn't just get so jam-packed. So click here and go for empty space. I think the default is here 32 pixels, which is fine, so that's okay by me. Right now what I'm going to do is to duplicate both sections. So I'll duplicate this one and this one. I'll move this one, I'll just move this one downwards a bit. Okay, so below this one, so it comes in here, and then I would make it meet our team. So I'll click here, so it opens up, and I'll change that to team. So what I'm going to do next is I'll replace this with the images of the team members as provided by the client. Okay, so I've seen the content of team members, and I don't think this idea would work, so I'm just going to delete this one. And what I'm going to do is to add another row. and I would make it look like this. So here the image of the team member comes in, right? So here's the image of a team member. Okay, I'm just gonna pick that one, set image. And I'll make the image full, and it's going to align center. On click action, nothing. And the widget title, which is supposed to be the name of the guy, I'll come back to that. Let's click on the text box. So this is the name of the man, and I'm going to come back here and I would paste the name in the widget title, and we'll preview that and see how it looks. Let's save and let's preview. Okay, that's opened. So I'll scroll down, and that's a Meet Our Board. Here is Meet Our Team. I'm going to put a large space in between these two places, and what I'm going to do is also I'm going to put a space up here so that this text comes down a bit and then it can align properly with the bottom of this image. So I'll quickly get into that. Let's go back to the edit page, and okay, so I'll duplicate this space. I'll move it up here above the animation, and I'm going to make this space pretty large. So I'll give it 90 pixels. Hit save changes. I'll duplicate this space as well, and then I'll bring it above this place. So now what we have is going to look a bit better. So let's reload that and see what the outcome is like. Page is loading. Come down. Okay, so we have enough space now between the board and the team, and this looks better. It could be bigger, but let's leave it at that, and let's move on to the next one. So I'm just going to create another row, and this time instead of the image being to the right, I'm going to bring it to the left. So I'll make the left smaller. To achieve that, notice how let's click on custom. So that's 2/3 and 1/3. Let's flip it. So let's make here 1, and let's make here 2, and save changes and update. That way we have the smaller image coming to the left and the larger one going to the right. So I'm just going to click on a single image here to put in the next team member. I'll click on the plus sign. Okay, so I'll select this guy, set image, and we'll come back to the name again, but right now let's put in text block, and I'll just paste that. So I'll come up here, cut that out, and I'll come back here, I'll paste the name in there. Okay, so that's pretty much it, and let's preview and see what that looks like. Just gonna scroll down. Okay, so great, now you have the write up for this guy to his left and the write up for this guy to his right. The names are a little too big, so I would want to take that out, and I would make the names here bold instead of the names appearing just there. So let's get on with that. So I'll click here. And I'll take this out. I'll click here. Okay, and I'll make this one bold so you can tell that that's its name, right? Sure, you should be able to. I'll repeat the same here. I'll take the name out and I'll make the name bold here, this particular one. So I'll make it bold and I'll save changes. So I'll repeat for everything. Okay, so I've added all of them. I'm going to update and we will preview once we're done. So it's updating right now. I'll come back in here and add refresh and let's see what we have. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll and there will go. Okay, so you got it. Each of the team members have their write-ups there, and let's see. Okay, let's also see something. Trying to see how mobile responsive it is. So you notice the smaller the screen, the smaller the images and the write-ups. Just come down below here. It looks nice enough. I'm going to increase that back. Sorry about that. I'll just pick it and increase it. It's gonna work this time. That's what we always say. So it should work now. Okay, great. So there you go. And the next thing that we're going to work on is meet our global partners. Alright, so according to this, we're supposed to have global partners, which shows up here, and CSR projects, which we do not have. And then, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a division, break it into two. This video is going to come in here somewhere, and then we're going to have another slider for the clients, right? So let's just do that. So I'll come down here, I'll add another row, I'll break it into two just like I said, and here I'm going to add a text box just so I can get that logo showcase. I'll right click here, open a new tab so I can get the short code to paste it. Okay, so here's our logo showcase. Just copy that code. I'm going to come back into a text box. I'll paste it here. So we have that there. And right here, we're going to put in a video. Because we're using WP Bakery page view, that we can insert a YouTube video. So I'll click on that one. And I'll come here. I'll just copy the image, sorry, the video URL. Right, let me bring that down so you can see. So I'm just going to copy that URL, right? I'll hit Ctrl C, let me pull that back up, and then I'll come to our edit page options and let's wait. This is supposed to, okay, so let's wait for it to open up. Okay, so I'm going to paste that in there. And the width, let's just leave all of these settings the way they are. Apart from this one, I'll make it centralized and I'll save. I'll update the page, and when that is done, we'll refresh our page and let's see what it looks like. So let me refresh this. Okay, so this is what our page looks like.